Good morning. It's Lions Talk with me, Smokin, Jeremy B, and Andu. What's up, fellas?
Awesome!
Waiting for a couple people to get in here before I start the intro. Got a little bit of stuff to talk about. A whole bunch of re-signings happened yesterday. A lot of people aren't hitting that free agency market. There's a rumor that Chris Jones will be extended today as well. For 3 years, 120 million, 115 million guaranteed. He's not hitting free agency.
40 a fucking year? Holy shit.
That's the rumor.
I hope that rumor's a lie, because that's going to fuck everything up for the future.
Oh, yeah, it will. Ricky Scott pops in, says, yes, sir, that time of the morning. It is always a good time to be going live as Lions fans. You know, we got a lot going on. The Giants got some things going on, too. I heard that Russell Wilson turned down a meeting with the team. That's a good thing for you.
That he turned down, or that he met with the team? He was on an exploratory one, is what I saw.
Yeah, it was an exploratory one he turned down. That's a good thing.
I hope so. I don't mind, though, if they do sign him, though, because, hey, if you're going to take a vet minimum, maybe it'll stop our fans from freaking crying for a first-round quarterback and let us get, like, the wide receiver or the offensive lineman in the first without hanging our coach and GM.
I mean, truthfully, that is your two biggest needs, O-line and wide receiver.
Yep.
Maybe a running back splashed in there somewhere.
Good morning, Paul Jones and Ricky Sakat.
Yes, they're already in the chat. We got 9 people watching. We are being shown around the world. I found out through Facebook. I'm being viewed in 18 countries around the world. And even though only guys comment in the chat, 65% of my viewers are women on Facebook, which is nuts because it's 95% men on YouTube. Ricky's got to ask, you're going to make your JJ Giant tumbler once he goes sick? We got FFP in the chat and Detroit Fan Man. Where are the majority of your viewers? Right here in the United States. But I have 10% in the UK. I have another 3% in Australia, and then 1% through another 15 different countries. But it's time for the intro, and we're going to get this ball rolling.
Show us here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Bodies by Jeremy Smokkin.
All right. That's right. It is us. We are here. I got my little replica of Ford Field here, but it isn't going to sit there nice during the show. So, and Ricky Sakat, thanks you again for the tumbler. Money well spent. One thing people will never take from me is that national championship. So happy that tumbler. It means a lot to me.
I'm glad, Ricky. Thank you for the purchase, sir.
It might be a 4-year deal. They're saying it'll be 3 or 4 years, but 120 million is the reported amount. Nice candles, VD. Those are actually insulated tumblers.
Yep.
They're the metal ones. They come with the metal straw. We are going to be selling them, and the website should be live towards the beginning of next week. And lo and behold, when we come live at 11 a.m., we're going to be talking about all the signings that are being rumored to be done on the 13th. Because by 11 a.m., with 11 hours in, we should have quite a list together for all the teams. Hopefully, a few for the Lions. Those tumblers are sold at 25 bucks a piece shipped. I personally hate those metal straws. We can take it out and use whatever you want, but they come with it. That's the important part.
Hmm.
We're also going to have our FTP hats, the blue one with the Lions logo on the front and FTP on the back, the black ones that just say FTP. We got Motor City Villains in here saying, "Hey, fellas," that would be Mr. Keegan. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the rumored things that I saw last night. Any good Canadian kickers available? No, they don't let their kickers hit free agency. They got to be poached. But yes, we do like Canadian players. It seems, and in all actuality, Quantez Figures graduated from an Atlanta high school as a four-star recruit. He didn't get any top Big Five schools to offer him a scholarship, and he found a loophole where if you play 3 years of semi-pro ball, you can still be drafted like a rookie after those 3 years. So instead of going to school, because Georgia didn't have the NIL deal in place back then, he got paid by the Fan Control League for 2 years. Where both years he led that league in interceptions. And then he goes to the CFL his rookie season in 2023 and led the league in interceptions there and was the defensive rookie of the year. So we're not talking about a slouch. Because think about this, in that league, you play mostly zone because it's a bigger field. It's 55 yards wide and it's 110 yards long, which means you have to cover your wide receivers more if they're not getting to that quarterback. Any chance of hats with FVD MC Galladay?
Yep, $100 a piece.
I'm so pumped for free. I am so pumped for Monday too. I can't wait because it starts actually Sunday night, midnight. And dude had 92 tackles. He also had 15 pass breakups. And you get 2 downs for a first down. There is no fourth down. That's right. They punt on third down if they don't get it. And they're allowed to have that gunner in motion. VD Man Crush Galladay. That's what the MC stood for there, Dan. So having that, so he's a solid tackler. His projected 40 time is between 4.4 and 4.45. So I like this kid, and if he's a late round pick or a UDFA and we get him, I'm gonna like him. I want to see what he does this preseason on a pro roster in the NFL because with those type of coverage skills, he might be showing out. At 247, you can go either way, kicker or late round corner. Chase Lucas wasn't tendered his RFA, so he's hitting free agency. I say Burrito Jones and Kenny Galladay should be banned words over here. Well, Burrito's still on the roster, damn it. Um, it's a loophole. I think it's just announced stuff. Well, actually, they're trying to bring back the return is the way the rules are set up. If you look, because basically, if you're going to kick it short of the end zone, it has to land between the 20 and the end zone, and then it'll only come out to the 25. If it lands shorter, like in the 30, like 30 to 20 zone, you get to have the ball at the 40 now. But what that is so when it's kicked short of the end zone, you have the chance to return it from the end zone or from the 20 back, basically, to the end zone. And they're making sure that everybody stays motionless on the receiving side of the ball, which I think is nuts. They can't engage blocks until somebody gets near them. They can't just run after them. So I think, yes, they are actually trying to bring it back, but kill it at the same time, if that makes sense. I just don't know why they just don't say, okay, let's take it back to the 30 because everybody kicks it out of the back of the end zone whenever they want at the 35. Take it back to the 30, leave the rules the way they are. And if somebody wants to run it back, let them run it back. Just that extra 5 yards would make all the difference. I'm not saying take it back to the 25 like it used to be. Take it to the 30. And I think you'd have it back. What they're also trying to kill is those big tackles. And they're also talking about making it an 18-year season in 2025, but because the CBA was passed and next year's under that CBA, they can't do it till 2026. And you're absolutely right, Fred Peterson. I don't like it. I love kickoff when I played high school ball. I got a concussion as a result of it, but it's a part of the game. Absolutely. Special teams will only be mattered about ball placement from here on out if this happens, in my opinion. I say take it back to the 30, leave the kicking rules just how they are. Don't change anything. Oh, you already got a comment on the Michigan tumbler. That's what yours is going to look like, Ricky.
That
Right
is
there.
Ricky's.
That is Ricky. Orlando Escobar Jr., Devin Hester, last return man, Hall of Famer.
You love the lava lamps. Andrew Merkling.
It's actually closer to like 38 if we have 53 million to spend. Von Doom, I love those lava lamps. Oh my lord, how nice is that national championship tumbler? Motor City Villains is actually Keegan Eckert, a guy that's on the show with us at night. And pretty soon, starting on Saturdays, what is it going to be? High flying?
Something like that. I believe that was the name.
Would you give up a second round pick for Snead after the contract that Jalen Johnson does just got? You're not getting Snead for a second round pick. You're not.
Actually, you might be able to get Snead for a second round pick because Kansas City ain't going to be able to afford to sign him.
The dead cap. They can't take on any more dead cap. I hear you, Ricky. It is a great thing to see that next to it. Man, um, Xavier Howard, anyone? I think he's getting washed, but it might have had something to do with the scheme change and the fact that Jalen Ramsey took over his spot. Um, I still have my top guys, high flying wrestling with Von Doom and the villain. That's what it is. Okay. But on my pecking order, and this is just me, and people can say they hate him as much as you want, but he plays predominantly a great zone corner. They switched to man last year, which is why he struggled. Chidobe Awuzie, then Xavier Howard, and then Kendall Fuller. That's the three. After that, they're all mid players, if you ask me. What do you think, Von Doom?
I wouldn't say they're mid players, but they're not top end players. There's
Right.
some quality starters out there.
Those three are the quality starters to start, is what I'm saying. The CB1 type of guys, right?
Man, it's a hard thing to say. If you're running a zone scheme, I don't really think CB1, CB2 really matters because you play a zone. When it comes to man coverage, it's different.
Right. And then in that next list, at the top of that list is the kid from Jacksonville. But who's a Dan Campbell type? We have no clue. We hear that somebody's his type of player, but he loves Will Harris. He says no turds on the roster, and Burrito Jones and Will Harris are still here, so I don't believe it. Tre'Davious White is way too injury prone.
When he's healthy, he's the best one of the bunch available.
Right. And one funky Lions fan has been saying Awuzie or Darby for a while. I think it's Awuzie or the kid Darius Williams from Jacksonville because of the ties to our defensive backs coach, because he made him look good. And it wouldn't be a bad thing to put that guy into a system that has the same coach here. I don't think Tre'Davious White is worth a snack bag of chips or Pringles. I mean, yes, when he's healthy, he's great, but he's missed what, 17 or 15 games in the last 2 years. I'm not for it.
I'm for it if you can get them cheap. But I'm telling you, the two that I like the most in free agency are guys nobody talks about: Sean Murphy Bunting and Steve Nelson from the Texans. Oh, you guys want to sign Joe Flacco? I got it. Makes sense. Got better arm
Yeah.
than Goff.
Stop it.
He does. That was always one of Flacco's biggest things. He had a can. He just couldn't hit the broadside of a
I don't
barn.
care about the cannon. It's the decision making. He also had a bunch of picks in one game, just like more than Goff had in any one game this year.
That may be true. Winners, Giants.
Who do I think? I have no clue who they're picking. I know who I'd like them to pick. So I'm going to be doing more of that after we hear about pro days.
Fred Peterson. That's actually kind of funny when the way you say that about Mosley having an idea about the play style and franchise. You guys literally mimic the defense from the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo does it better though in the coverage part.
Doom is spewing poison. LOL. Orlando Escobrano Jr. What about LB? Barnes is here for another year anyways. Tina, it is nice to see you too. Thanks for chiming in. She is one of our great fans down in Florida and a big Lions fan. Facebook user says, "Good morning, boys. Thank you. Thank you for chiming in. Can't see your face because you haven't clicked the little StreamYard link above the video, and that allows them to use your picture and your name only. It doesn't allow them to post on your behalf unless you share something that we have posted." Oh, it's Wild Woody, the creator of our logos. Speaking of which, I haven't put those up for a minute, have I? Von Doom's logo. He's working on a new one for him. I think it's going to be fantastic. And then, of course, the Smokkin Jeremy B logo. Wild Woody, I appreciate it. Guys, I think they're looking at in the draft. Oh, I wouldn't hate Trotter Jr. in the third at all. Don't get me wrong. But I think with the 4-2-5 that we're running, unless we're going to switch back to a 3-4 or an actual 4-3, we actually might have the linebackers we have on the roster and maybe splash in a late round pick or a UDFA. That's what I see happening because our bigger needs are DT, D end, and cornerback. But at the same time, if none of those are there, none of those good ones are there at 29, I won't be surprised if they go O lineman at 29. And the O lineman that could be there at 29, and one would be considered a reach, but I don't think it's a reach at all. I think he's a first round prospect all day. You got Graham Barton, who's played all three interior O line spots. You've got JPJ, who's the best of these guys that I'm talking about. He's played all three O line spots. The guy I like better than both of them is Cooper Beebe because he's played everything but center, and he does it well. So you take Cooper Beebe, you eliminate having to draft a backup tackle and a backup guard doing in one. Brent says, "Hey Fred, I'm doing well. How about you, brother?" Because I'm doing good. Yesterday was a cluster. Beep. Today is slow and easy so far. I'm able to be here 100% and give my input and bust VD's balls as often as possible.
I'm just glad I was able to be here this morning.
I think McCormick may end up he could go on day 2, but I think he's actually considered a 4th or 5th round pick so far because the prospect list hasn't adjusted. But here's something interesting. Last week when we did our mocks, Quantez Stiggers was all the way down in the 400s. Remember that, Von Doom?
Yes, I do.
He was like 457, wasn't it?
Something like that.
He's moved all the way up to 300 already without even being able to do the combine. I wonder why. Oh, yeah, that's because there was a lot of guys that kind of sucked at the combine.
Oh, the position that disappointed me the most at the combine this year was offensive linemen. Like none of them were strong.
Right. Or D lineman. I mean, Blake Corum is as strong as the strongest D lineman that there was out there at 29 reps, which is crazy.
Yeah, Fred Peterson. It's going good so far. Still training. Got 4 more days next week out in the infield training, and then I get my own routes. Then I can take lunch and make the show every day.
Yeah, our second, third round pick. But at the same time, if somebody like well, let's see, we do need a big contested catch guy. I don't want to get it out of free agency because it hasn't worked for us. I don't want to take the giant scraps, which is old lion scraps that's out there. So I'm looking possibly at 92. They may go either safety, corner, or wide receiver. And if it's a wide receiver, you're looking for one of those 6'3" or taller guys. So the guy that looks like Kenny Galladay and is a little faster and has the same prospect list, if you look at it, as much as I hate to say it, it's Johnny Wilson out of Florida State, the 6'7" kid. I don't think they're going to go offense in the second round unless it's an old lineman because they didn't get one in the first. I just got that feeling. The only guy that I like Leggett, but you know what? The guy you would want to take, let's say all the old linemen that are good are gone, all the D tackles, all the corners. If it's at the end of the first round and he's there, the wide receiver I'm taking at 6'2" and 205 pounds is Adonai Mitchell. Best hands in the draft.
Yep, had the lowest percentage of drops in college football.
1.3% last year.
His arms are smaller.
His arms are smaller. That's fine. It's just, I'm just saying. Remember Gabe Watson when he set the record? That was a big guy. I like JPJ and DeJune, but I like Cooper Beebe better than JPJ. That's just me.
Go watch the Texas K-State game and see what freaking Cooper Beebe did to Byron Murphy.
He made Byron Murphy look stupid.
Picked his ass up and walked him to the end zone.
Yeah. Oh, it's a coffee morning.
There's coffee every day. What the fuck are you talking about morning?
I think Corum's arm length was like 29 and a half or 30 and a half inches, something like that.
Corum's a T-Rex.
It wasn't that short. Stop it. It was only 5'11", so that's actually pretty good. I'm 5'11", but I got a 36-inch sleeve. So
think about that. If he's 5'11", and he's only got like 30-inch arms, 29-inch arms, he can't even wipe his own ass.
Yes, he can. He's got a short back and long legs. Thank you, Tina. I love that cup too. The coffee tastes so sweet out of it. I think I seasoned it with Packers tears. You like that one, Von Doom?
Yup.
So as far as I'm hearing, Cousins to Atlanta, Russ to the Steelers or Giants, and Fields possibly to the Vikes.
And Atlanta is the most intriguing.
Yep. I think Cousins going to Atlanta. And the Commanders are talking to a vet as well, is what I'm hearing. versus trading for Fields. That's a rumor that was created by a Vikings content creator. I don't know if Fields goes to the Vikes because I saw the original post that came out 2 hours before there was anything on mainstream media. So, I Sports Skeeta's trying to report that one of the USC quarterbacks was offered money by the Italian mafia to throw games. And I was like, Sports Skeeta, this is the same guy that put out like 18 trades for the Lions last year that never happened.
You know, I think Fields probably could have ended up in Atlanta already if the fucking Bears would have just made up their mind. I think they ruined their own window.
I think they ruined their own window, but I think in all actuality, somebody's going to trade up for that number one spot. Yep, rumor out of Chicago as they're talking to teams about trading the first pick and keeping Fields because the offers went away as soon as people started becoming free agents.
Smartest thing they could do is trade that first pick.
Yeah, you trade
Fields
that first.
Isn't a bad quarterback.
He's just in a bad situation.
Yes,
he's in his fourth in four years. Did you see Pat Mack's video on Russell Wilson? He said Russell Wilson could go to Minnesota for 1.5 million while Denver has to pay the other 40. Yeah, and he's actually on a flight right now to Pittsburgh to meet with their management. That's why the dead cap is so high for Denver is because the guaranteed money gets rolled into that.
He 100% could succeed in Pittsburgh with that team, the way they're running offense. I don't care what anybody says. They always have one of the best running freaking teams in the league. He's got two good wide receivers, good tight end. Offensive line's a little suspect. Defense is the defense out there. So he'll at least be a 500 winner.
Yes, Russell Wilson is flying to Pittsburgh now to meet with Steelers organization. I think it's almost a done deal. I think you'll see. You already saw that Mitch Trubisky is going to be signed by the Buffalo Bills. I think the next one to go would be Mason Rudolph at that point, but they may just keep him on the roster because Kenny Pickett's trash.
Rudolph's still a free agent, though.
Is he a free agent? No.
Yes.
Scratch that. They're probably taking a late round wide receiver for the third one then, or a UDFA. But yeah, I forgot about Darius Williams. I think he'd be fourth on my list.
You're gonna take him over over Dory Jackson?
No, I said he'd be fourth on my list.
Oh. Smack my head, Sean.
He's shaking my head. Sean shit the bed on that. It's not Sean. It was the stupidest trade done in history. That was the last trade made by John Elway before the new management took over. It was John Elway looking for the next replacement of him. Because that's all he's been looking for ever since he got in there. When Peyton Manning retired, he tried it with Tim Tebow. Then he tried it with Peyton. Then he tried it. It's been awful. Do we have any free agents on the Lions roster? Lots of them. Let's put it this way. With the practice squad re-signings we've done and the few that we've added recently, I think we only have like 54, maybe 55 men on the payroll, and you're allowed up to 70 when you add in the practice squad. So we got 17 spots to fill, people. I'm not saying all of them are starters. I'm not saying all of them are backups. I'm just saying we have 17 more roster spots to fill. And if you technically think about it, we got room for 15 more because we make 15 cuts in the preseason. And I've said the same thing, Fred Peterson. I said the same thing when they made that trade. It was a knee-jerk reaction to not getting the Aaron Rodgers trade. Because Denver offered the exact same deal to Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers that year. Green Bay turned him down. And
I think he turned him down just because Nathaniel Hackett went to be their head coach there.
Exactly. And Nathaniel Hackett 100% was calling plays that was conducive to a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, not Russell Wilson. You could see it when they were running the plays. That's why he didn't last the season.
Matter of fact, Russ sucked.
Russ Wilson sucked so bad that everybody's carpets were clean because all their vacuums started working again in Denver. I've heard no news on Josh Reynolds being re-signed. There is not a peep on it, and so I don't think that's happening. I haven't heard a peep about Goff being in for an extension, but I have heard about Amon Ra, who's been at the facility since yesterday. Haven't heard a deal done yet, so I think it's still narrowing down the years.
his deal will get done before free agency starts.
Yeah.
Josh Reynolds, you've heard nothing about.
Awesome.
Jerry Jacobs, they came out and said they're not re-signing him.
Yep. We did re-sign Brock Wright. We did
James
re-sign
Ilstra.
James Ilstra. We also brought back Zonovan Bam Knight.
Yeah.
Uh,
You,
well,
you guys paid Reeves Maven.
we brought back Jalen Reeves Maven, and my God, we brought back Money Badger. Ugh.
Yes, they re-signed Donovan Knight.
Yep.
I don't know why, but it is what it is.
Yep. I seen the Jacobs thank you post to Detroit. Class guy, but I think it ran his course. I mean, he was a UDFA that got the start in 3 different seasons. You can't ask for much more than that as a UDFA and actually get playing checks versus riding the pine in the practice squad check. Do I think Knight starts over Craig Reynolds? Craig Reynolds is a free agent if they don't bring him back again. You're absolutely right, Orlando Escribano Jr.
Oh, the thing with that though, a lot of these players that you're going to see testing free agency, most of them that have any value actually already know what their value on the free agency would be because of the combine when their agents were talking to teams. Just like with Mike Evans, the grass was not greener if he would have went to free agency over what the Buccaneers offered him. His agent got that information at the combine, so he resigned.
April 27th, that's Thursday, right? Is the draft.
I believe.
Hey, you can be a non-classy player and still be a classy guy. Fred, don't go there. We've seen all sorts of players that lost their shit on a sideline and still be a classy guy off the field. Say what you want. He was mad at the whole defense at that point. He was yelling at everybody. And from what I understand, when CJ tried to stop him, he goes, "What are you talking about, broke ass? You can't even play." But anyways,
Ooh, Steelers are releasing Patrick Peters.
oh yeah, another guy that's kind of washed up.
Is he though?
Say what?
Is he though?
Yeah, doesn't run as fast as he used to. He doesn't have the change of directions. He's not good in the punt return game anymore. Um, he's just a mid guy now. He's not the same guy.
I didn't say it's the same guy, but I still think he'd be good as a safety. I got a question for you, man. What the fuck is up with New York narratives now saying they'd rather have Swift than Barkley? It's been driving me crazy the past 2 days, and I've gotten into just about to the point where I'm ready to dive through a screen and slap a Giants fan over that. Why do you want one injury prone runner that's least dynamic for one that's less dynamic and more injury prone?
Pat Pete went downhill ever since the Vikes signed him, and that's true. I really believe that the Detroit Lions will really make it this coming year. I think they're going to go. I think they're going to do well. My initial reaction when I looked at that I'm giving the same window of wins as I did last year. I expect 11-6, but I see between 10-7 and 13-4 because I see 4 teams that I don't think we absolutely can beat unless we get everything right. Perfect. Coming from a guy that was excited about picking up Galladay, Swift will do well in New York. Fred Peterson.
Okay, Fruity Fred.
Does Johnson's locker fit our culture? Which Johnson is he asking about? I'm trying to figure that out.
Jackson Powers Johnson. What I think of either him or C.J. Gardner Johnson, but
I and Keegan says in the wise words of Mark Malek, Super Bowl of bust. Oh, the Bears, Jalen Johnson is gone. They re-signed him 4 years, $76 million. They got him cheap. Another guy that we were looking at for guard that might have came out was Okafor, right? Oh, CJ Johnson? I don't even care about his locker room fit. I think he's a bum. Are we doing the fantasy football this year? That was Russ that had that. So yeah, I think he is. Um, Brad Holmes finally has money, and we have 4 picks in the top 100. He should be able to make it, so we have a solid defense this year. But the problem is we have the same coach. That's where I lose interest. You know, I really wanted AG to get a coaching job. I really, really did. You can ask Dan. I was praying about it.
you just wanted the comp picks and him gone.
You're right, because I don't like him.
I don't either.
I'm sorry. We get more talented, but yet the bottom line doesn't get any better. We got a Pro Bowl, all pro level defensive back coaching our defense, and none of them have developed into a better player than they were. Omeka
Has to be
Okafor
proven.
re-signed with the Jags, right? Isn't that his name?
Did you just say Emeka Okafor?
I think so. I don't know. I can't.
That was a basketball player.
Okay, whatever he is, Emick or whatever his name is.
But I do believe he did resign yesterday.
Yeah, he resigned with the Jags, right?
Yeah. So did Edric Cleveland, which that one really bothers me.
Oh, Ezra Cleveland is the one that was for the Jags, and Okafor signed with the Chiefs. Yeah. Is there a tush push without Kelsey? I don't know. It depends if the next center likes it or not.
Here's the problem with that. You're going to try to find the center to replace Jason Kelsey. He did one thing better than anybody else on the offensive or defensive line for years. His freaking height. He could get below everybody, so he had the leverage.
Yep. They need to find another mighty midget.
Exactly.
Oh, it wasn't the Chiefs. It was the Pats. Okay. Either way, they got re-signed. And it was funny. There was a whole bunch of people that they put enlisted for safeties that was going to go, and they listed Kyle Duggar, and I was like, wait a minute. And I said, oh yeah, he's got the transitional tag.
Yeah. Kyle Duggar on his transitional tag. But do you know that none of the guys that got tagged got the exclusive one where they can't be traded?
Hey, Orlando Escobar Jr. I'm going to say this. DeAndre Swift had the exact same stats he had in Detroit. Why? He's a bum. 4 touchdowns and a bunch of yards. And he got all his yards in 4 games.
Yeah, go look at what he actually did for the bulk of the season. He didn't do shit. He was phased out of the offense because he wasn't better than Kenneth Gainwell.
Right. Kenneth Gainwell and Barton Scott were better running backs than he was.
fuck Boston Scott. I hate him so much. Guy's 5'6". He's a giant killer.
I love that answer, Tina. She says, "Well, if I knew more about football and knew all the plays, I'd be a coach." Hey, any one of us that does these type of podcasts, we all say it. We could do a better job than this person. You know what? They're professionals for a reason. But there's things I see that I think should be done different.
So that Jason Kelsey retirement speech was great. Like it was
Yep.
funny. It was emotional. I loved it.
Yep. Route of at least 3 touchdowns from the tush push out of the fist. They didn't use him in the goal line. If they were at
He's
the
not
goal line,
going back.
right? It was either Kenneth Gainwell, Barton Scott, or the tush push. Once he got inside the red zone, DeAndre Swift disappeared, just like he did in Detroit. He's a bum. There's a reason why Jamal Williams had 17 touchdowns from all less than 10 yards. Matt Millen was a professional too. Matt Millen probably would have been a better coach than GM. I'm going to say that right now. He is a football mind. He's just not a talent scout. But they didn't use him like that.
Thunder and Lightning is running football or ruining. What were you going with there? Winning football.
Guess what? Swift stayed healthy because they quit using him most of the year. You got to go look at the stats, Lions.
Hey, hold on.
4 games.
Keegan, kiss my ass. You guys got snacks from us, buddy. We didn't take them from you. You took our leftovers.
Yeah.
And arguably, he's the best one on that entire list.
And you're absolutely right. Gibbs is not as effective without Monty. We took snacks from the Giants. They didn't get snacks from us. We traded mid-season. We gave up, what was it, a 5th-round pick for him, I think? Maybe a 6th?
Yes, it was a 5th or a 7th. I don't remember exactly. I know it wasn't a 6th. But we had a clear cap, and that's what that was because Dave Gettleman signed the rest of those guys with horrible contracts.
He didn't go back to the Giants after he played for us, Keegan. Maybe a couple. He went to the Packers, and then he went to the Seahawks. What are you talking about? He did not go back to Giants. Lions called about Newsom from the Browns, Jeff Risdon. They can call whoever they want, but unless the deal's done and I see it on the paper, I don't care. And it's not rare to see a player stay healthy during a contract year. You're absolutely right, unless they're playing where they don't want to be. No, Snacks was great for a year until he held out because he didn't want to play for us, so we had to overpay him to come back. Then his wife had a baby, so he missed all of the off season. And when he came back, he was using Matt Patricia's Golden Corral benefits card and getting free meals, and came back 50 pounds overweight. That was the problem, and he never recovered from that. Flowers was a bad pick right away. A run stuffing DN that can get pressure when we had no one that could get pressure on the roster. He only looked good because he got exactly the same. Detroit fan man, I will actually look that up for you and have it for you next week because I don't know. And Jameer Gibbs is better than DeAndre Swift and twice on Sunday. And David Montgomery was an up ground. And nobody said they weren't. Why are you talking like that anyways? Yeah, I don't get why Lions fans blame. I only blame Patricia for the development of the players because he couldn't develop a player if it was Polaroid film, and that's instant shit.
Yep.
And I'm beginning to feel the same way about AG. I know, Keegan, but you really want to start that shit with Von Doom, and then you're supposed to be on the show tonight? Good luck.
Yeah, probably not the smartest career choice there, buddy.
If I could coach a team, who would it be? It would have to be probably a local high school at first and work my way up the ranks like you're supposed to.
Really
Orlando
past that if you know somebody or played.
laughed when he got the job in Philly. Slay was not happy. Oh, I know. They worked it out somewhere in the middle of the season. Next thing you know, they didn't like their defensive coordinator, so they put him up in the booth and made Matt Patricia call plays. And all of a sudden, you know what we got to see? A lot of that one down lineman dime package that he likes to run that never stops anything.
Which is so stupid with the fucking team that they have because they have like the best defensive line in football.
Oh, we said that. But when all you put out there is either Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, or Brandon Graham, one at a time.
Mm-hmm. Nudie Magazine Day.
Yeah. Man, I love talking football. I don't know why anybody wants us to throw that big a bag on one player. Danielle Hunter, or Danielle as it's spelled, but it's pronounced Danielle. It's Danielle Hunter. He wants to get paid like he's a supermodel. No, there is only one expatriate coach that had been successful, and it was Brian Flores, and he was fired because he wouldn't lose enough games to get them Joe Burrow.
No, instead you get some fucking Tua, who's winning playoff games, freaking, and about to become the highest paid quarterback in football in a couple days here.
You think they're going to give him that much money?
I was reading about it last night. It's going to be a 4-year deal with the most money ever for an NFL player.
Wow. And still no word on Dak's extension. I think he's closer to being cut or restructured.
I think they just let him play out the last year now at this point. For some reason, Jerry Jones has this unhealthy fascination with Trey Lance.
Yeah, because they already gave him the 5th-year option. Corner is the hardest position to scout. Give AG some studs at outside corner, and then I'll judge because Vildor, Sutton, Jacobs, and Lucas aren't even average.
Oh yeah, that was right. Lucas is gone. They're not up.
Yeah, Lucas is gone. Lucas is gone, and Khalil Dorsey's gone. Yeah, John Kapler.
No, he shouldn't. Earl Jackson.
No, because that would be Devontae Adams, who's getting $45 million a year the next 2 seasons. I don't want him getting that. I love the money. It's not a money issue with St. Brown. It's how many years the contract is.
And let's just put this right out there. The highest paid player in football, until proven otherwise, should be Tyreek Hill because he does more with nothing than anybody else in the league. He could make Justin Fields look like fucking Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, you're making my point for me. Devontae Adams is overpaid.
You're not wrong there.
Oh, well, we won't be back on till Monday. This is Friday, right?
I hope. Otherwise, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, this is Friday. We will be going live at 9:30 p.m. tonight with the Lions Fan Cave chat. I will be inviting other fans in. If they show up, great. If they don't, I don't care. We still go live because there'll be more news by the end of the day. Brad and St. Brown are agreed on money. Brad doesn't feel comfortable signing over 4 years for anyone. He is a top 3 wide receiver, Earl Jackson. Nobody's fighting about that. God, you're barking up the wrong tree. Stop. I think St. Brown wants it to be 6 or 7 years is what it all comes down to, because he said he wants to be a Lion for life. I don't even have Justin Jefferson over Amon-Ra St. Brown. How many playoff games has the Minnesota won with Justin Jefferson? And we won with Amon-Ra. I do have a good point there, Von Doom.
I don't even care about that because it's a team game, not just that. Justin Jefferson is definitely a more dynamic receiver, and if you played them, him and St. Brown, if they were just doing the same quarterback against the same DB, just in a competition, Justin Jefferson is going to score more touchdowns than St. Brown. That's just a fact, a different type of player. St. Brown is just very reliable and does the dirty work that other people don't want to do. It would be like
Right.
the equivalent of having a team where you had Larry Fitzgerald, who's a superstar, and then you had Anquan Bolden, who was not even that he wasn't a superstar. He was just quieter and did all the dirty work for the team. Like you see St. Brown come across the middle, take the hits, do the little outs, get blasted on the sideline. Whereas Jefferson, you see either a curl route, a big slant, or a go. It's a different kind of receiver. The only one I really put above him is Tyreek Hill because he'll take a freaking 2-yard slant where he should be dead and somehow is 60 yards down the field in 3 seconds. Or he just decides, hey, I want to run fast and nobody's going to come anywhere near me and go catch a long ball like a center fielder.
And Motor City Villains, in other words, Keegan Eckert, when you dye your hair blue, you know he wants to be a Lion forever. It turns out Risden did it a few years ago during the Galladay area video, but history shows many busts turn out. Frank Clark to KC has been the best recently, but I'm totally out on tag and trade. Yes, I agree. It took what, Frank Clark 4 years to show up in that Kansas City defense after he left Seattle, and that was a tag and trade. That's the only successful one, but it took years for him to get that system because he went from a 4-3 Legion of Boom to a 3-4. What have I said about square pegs, round holes?
Exactly like when you guys trade for Snacks, why he hated being in Detroit. Because you were running a 4-man front and he was a natural nose tackle. He didn't like switching that up.
That's why he didn't want to be there, and that's why we had to overpay him to come back after that contract year.
Yep.
You're talking about Lions corners. That's not fair comparing that on Justin Jefferson making a catch. Lions DBs triple covering Justin Jefferson is single coverage for any other good corner.
Yeah, pretty much. And also, man, like Jefferson drops way more than Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, Jefferson has a higher
He's
drop
more
rate.
athletic, though, is what he is. That is what it is. He's a more athletic player. So he'll make a more dynamic play on the field that'll look all flashy. St. Brown has better catches, like the amount of catches. His yards after catch are right up there. But he does the dirty work. He'll take those little 4 and 5 yard catches, get his ass whooped, come back the next play, do it again. You don't see as many of those like 20, 40, 60 yard plays from him. It's not his game. It's not who he is.
Wait a minute. Amon-Ra has made several triple coverage catches last year. What are you talking about? You don't see him doing that. He caught passes in triple coverage. He has better hands than Justin Jefferson, hands down. The drop rate is almost a 10% difference between Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep. There's too many factors to put them there and compare them 1-to-1. because
If you
they're
look
not
at
the same.
overall football player, I'm on Ross St. Brown's better. If you look at wide receiver alone, Justin Jefferson is more athletic. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
But Brown
they
does
both,
shit Jefferson won't do, like block.
yeah, he will not block downfield. We watched him lay and let Madison get screamed, who's a free agent, which I don't want. Yes, they are two different wide receivers. That's what we just said. Don't let Ra read these comments. He'll use it as motivation. You're absolutely right. Yep. St. Brown only dropped 9 balls all year, and 2 was in the Tampa Bay game. And another one was in the NFC Championship game.
Yep. Look at that right here. What Fred Peterson just said. St. Brown versus Jefferson, two different receivers. St. Brown's a slot. Jefferson is a wide out X. So yes, Brown is more comparable to Golden Tate. But the fact that Jefferson's an X receiver is why you always see him have a higher contract. Because for some reason they fucking value that long ball on the outside better.
Even though
Even though
they don't.
guys like, yeah, that's why Kirk Cousins fits in Minnesota. Because he could throw the long ball outside. He's outside the numbers. He's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Jefferson makes his money. Like, I don't care what anybody say. GMs, coaches, fans, chicks, they love the long ball.
Just like in baseball, if you can hit home runs, you get paid.
Yep.
Well, guys, it's that time of the day. I got to start getting ready for work shortly, so it's time to talk about our sponsors. You know who they are. Who's our favorite one? The one that doesn't pay me any money, but we love to talk about? It's this
Fred
guy.
the Prick.
Yeah, there it is. Fred the Prick. Fruity
Fred
Fred the Prick.
Fruity Fred the Prick.
Free the puppies.
And fuck the Packers.
And fuck the Packers. It is FTP Friday, everybody. Don't forget that. Say it all day. Put it twice on today. Oh, we got some comments coming in before I get to the next one.
Someone's going to get Andrew Thomas money.
Yep, they'd already accepted the 5th-year option on Sewell, so they don't even have to work on his contract. Hey, I got to go do my real job there, Fred. I can't do this and be at my job. It don't work that way when you're in management. Bullshit.
What are you talking about? You're in management. Yes, it does. You tell the people to do their shit.
Management at a tire shop is not like management anywhere else. The manager is the salesperson. They don't have salespeople. We got workers and we got management, which is salesperson, customer service, HR department, therapy for the workers when they get their booty holes hurt.
You guys are doing something wrong.
Gloss Negron, the best window tinter in Saginaw, located at 409 Hamilton Street in Saginaw, 989-443-9240. By appointment only. Window tinting and auto detailing. Go check them out. Get rid of the swamp ass smell in the car and make it look pretty with some tint too.
You love that swamp ass comment.
Yes, I did. I'm going to use it all the time now. Then, my place of employment. Brandon's Tire, located at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road in Flint, Michigan. That's 602 West Atherton Road, 48507. Come and check us out. Great new and used tires. We have some of the lowest prices in Genesee County. Come on in. I'll get you a quote. We can get the tires in by the next day or the day after, 1 to 2 days tops for delivery time. 810-233-8230. Tell them Smokin' Jeremy B sent you, and you get $10 off if you buy a set of tires. Flint, Michigan, Atherton. Yes, sir.
Just set up right in the office there. When you're doing sales, just mute it and put the camera on. Fuck it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and do that, Von Doom.
Good.
Memorize the names of these commenters. Comment of the day.
KB, I will. When I have my own route, I'll freaking hop on the show live from mid route. I don't give a shit. I'll put the phone on the freaking shelf and do it. What are they going to say? Fuck them.
Risen just tweeted, very strong indications the Browns are looking to make a move with Newsom. Also, strong indication that the Lions at least picked up the phone to talk about it. Yeah,
I
right.
said this 3 weeks ago. They should reach out to him for them.
All right. Go sell some rubbers. Hopefully, I'll catch you guys tonight. Yeah, you know what? I had the best one. One of the guys missed a day of work, couldn't call. 'Cause guess what? He got a drunken disorderly and spent the night in the drunk tank. So the next day he comes into work, and the first tire he does is one of those ones that was road flat, and you can smell the burnt rubber when he takes it off. And as soon as he did it, he burped. And the other guys are all standing there. God, why is all I smell burnt rubber and semen?
Did the guy end up losing his job for getting out of the drunk disorderly?
No,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
no, because we're not a publicly seen entity.
Just saying. You knew where I was going with that.
But you got to admit that was a funny joke I made.
It was.
Hey, all I know is that if there's a one-liner to be had, I'll find it because I am the most politically incorrect dad joke guy there is. Ask Von Doom. Him and I can go back and forth for hours.
Yeah, we just said some pretty fucked up shit that probably shouldn't be said publicly anywhere.
Yes, but it's fun.
And I really don't give a fuck about anybody else's feelings if they don't like it.
That's right. We got to wear our sweatshirts tonight, buddy. If it's cool enough.
If it's not like 90 out again.
Yeah, as long as it's not 90, we might do it. Well, thanks everybody for coming in. We appreciate you. Gonna have lots to talk about on Monday.
Absolutely.
Yes, Detroit fan man. There's another one. That's why I don't make pregnant Barbies because Ken comes in a different box. Oh,
Yeah.
that joke. Yeah, I remember that one. Well, have a great day, everybody. Try every day to be a better person. You were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. Starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. We had Ural Jackson, Keegan, Orlando Escribano Jr., Ricky Sakat, Paul Jones. There's so many. Brent, all you guys. And I saw a couple new guys popping in, and it was great to see you all. 21 people watching, 8 likes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Get us out there because the faster we grow, the better the show gets because we can put more into it. What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo? One's just a little lighter. Oh. I always say one makes a flame and one's my ex-wife.
Wow.
Dwayne Keene finally made it in the chat. How about it?
What do they both have in common, JB? Enough alcohol, you'll still stick your dick in either one of them.
I'm not sticking my dick in a zippo.
Stick it right in the flames.
Is that why the Bengals wrote that?
It might be. I could have said you stick your dick in them, both you're gonna burn either way afterwards, but I didn't.
We're awful. Oh, I love it. You know what the difference is between the hippo and a zippo? A shot clears up the one flame.
Yep.
Boom. There we go. That was a good one.
I'll give you that. That was a good one.
You're still chuckling. Yeah.
Feel the burn.
Have a great day, everybody. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Remember,